Crazy things are happening. Welcome to the show Spring Trends on Western Spring Television. A part of Morning Spring where we bring you who is trending, what is trending, why they are trending, and what people are saying about the who, the what, and the why. This morning, we're looking at we'll start with one of the governors of the G5. For those who don't know, the G5 is also known as the Integrity Governors, a breakaway group of PDP governors led by Governor Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike of Rivers State. That group has Samuel Ortom of Benue. It also has Okeze Ikpeazu of Abia, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, and Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. But now one of those governors who failed in his bid to go to the Senate, Samuel Ortom, is in the news. Why is he in the news? Let's take a look at the reason Samuel Ortom is in the news. Now, a lawyer based in Benue State was kind enough to help us understand that Samuel Ortom has submitted a life pension bill to give Benue ex-governors 4 new cars every 4 years. That's 1 car per year, a monthly governor's salary, annual vacations abroad, and all the outrageous provisions. So I'll take the items on that bill one after the other. Now we'll start with section 2A1. That makes provision for the payment to the former governors of a monthly stipend equivalent to the salary of a sitting incumbent governor. What that means is Samuel Ortom, even after leaving office, wants to collect the same amount as pension that the sitting governor collects. That's 2.2 million naira plus. Section 2A2 makes provision for the payment to all former deputy governors of a monthly stipend equivalent to the salary of a sitting incumbent deputy governor. Section 2B provides for the building of a permanent residential accommodation in any town of their choice by the state in Nigeria. Section 2C and H provide for the provisions of 4 new cars every 4 years for the former governors and 2 new cars every 4 years for the former deputy governors, whose cars shall be serviced and maintained at the expense of the state. Section 2D and E provide for 6 personnel staff for the former governors and 3 for the former deputy governors to be paid for by the state. Let's move on. Section 2F provides for 24-hour security surveillance and guards for all former governors and their deputies at their direction. Section 2G provides for free medical treatment for them, their spouses, and at least 4 children under the age of 18. Section 3 provides that all the above expenses can be monetized or cashed out. Now, Section 3 means that instead of getting 4 cars, instead of getting the stipend, instead of getting personnel staff, instead of getting the house, I can decide to put all of this together and say the amount that it will cost you to do this for me is 15 billion. That's what I want. I don't want you to buy me the house. I don't want the staff. I don't want the medical treatment. So Section 3 provides that all the above expenses can be monetized or cashed out. And Section 4 entitled former governors to 2 vacations abroad annually and the former deputy governor to 1 vacation abroad annually. Can you see why now these people will do anything to get to power? Because it's not just when you're in power. Even after you leave power, when you leave office, you still want to retain some sort of power. Now let's go over to the comments and see how what people had to say about that particular decision by Governor Samuel Ortom to push that scary pension bill. Demola Olariwaju says, this law is one of Bola Tinubu's many infamous contributions to the Nigerian polity since 1999. It started with him in Lagos. Those who underestimated his avaricious political policies and chose him as first or second choice may yet find out what Lagos has long suffered. United Youth's Kogi Chief Priest says, Babawan enjoy till death come, shaking my head. Amidst all the killings on the state, Baba still get time for rubbish. 0 governance, 0 leadership. Adeji says, continuous obscene compensation for enjoying himself on public purse for 8 years. Little wonder why the worst of us would kill for power and do everything to keep eating in the system. Distinguished Evra says, thieves, The only reason they do this is that they can't afford the lives they live with our public wealth. We have to keep paying them. Oloye says, this man has zero other plans in life. He just wants to live off Benue forever. I don't mind pension and gratuities being paid to a former governor, but it should not exceed the amount paid to the highest level civil servants in the state. Oladipo Samuel says these are some of the issues. Just because you govern the state for 8 years, you're talking about life pension. Ochinawata the first says, this is one of the worst governors in Nigeria. Did absolutely nothing for his people, but always telling lies to gain sympathy from his people. I feel for Benue people who took him seriously. Jude Uba Eza says, meanwhile, he has refused to pay workers' salary to the tune of 10 months and 3 years for pensioners. Now, AA Do You Real Ado says, the worst thing to ever happen to Benue. No brain, no class, no leadership qualities, nothing. Just 0 over 100. 0 over 100. Consultant Ron Kizu says, all these ex-governors are leeches, serve for max of 8 years, and want to continue till death. Well, that's all. That's the story. Some of these provisions in that bill are actually not very nice. They are outright gluttony, greed, and some penchant for wanting to sponsor the baby boy lifestyle that you know that your own money cannot sponsor in the first place. Governor Samuel Ortom, please reconsider that bill. I mean, all of these things are too expensive. Why do you want to collect the same salary as the governor every year, every month? Why? Are you still the governor? You are not the governor. You want to be collecting 2.2 million naira every month after serving for 8 years. That's not fair. And why do you need a building of a permanent residential accommodation in any town of your choice? Don't you have a house before? Before you became governor, did you not have a house? I'm sure you had a house. So why do you still need the state to build you a house? And why do you need a car every year, 1 car every year? So 4 cars every 4 years to be maintained at the cost of the state. So what happens to the other cars in the government house, the cars for the current governor, cars for commissioners who would bear that? The state. So where would the state get money to pay salaries? Where would the state get money to do other projects if they are spending so much on you and your former deputy governor? So please reconsider that bill, Governor Samuel Ortom. Now let's move over from Samuel Ortom to the aviation industry, where the workers have been protesting. The aviation passengers were stranded at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, as Nigeria's aviation workers embarked on a 2-day warning strike across the country on Monday. Passengers were also stranded in other places across the country. But let's take a look at the protests that occurred after the strike and how they blocked the roads and stopped traffic. You can see Nigerian people's parents, fathers and mothers on the street lying down because of their conditions of service and welfare. The government seems to not be bothered about them. Hadi Sirika, the Minister of Aviation, is instead busy procuring 10 trucks for 12 billion naira. I just hope that after this administration of Buhari, that somebody will probe everybody. Let police pack everybody, call up everybody. 12 billion naira to buy 10 trucks. And there are people on the road talking about their welfare and conditions of service. I don't think it's really fair for people who put their lives on the line to work for Nigeria and also contribute their quota to the growth of the Nigerian economy. But let's see the responses to that particular video as reported by The Punch yesterday in Lagos. Peter Obi, the president, says the people that are there are saying the minister wants to demolish their headquarter office and use the space for something like Aerotropolis, but they don't want that to happen. This is the reason for the strike. Nigeria, it is well. Alif BNG says, why are these miscreants blocking roads? Must everyone suffer because of your personal benefits? I think this person has some issues in the head. I don't know. You see people's parents on the road. Do you think they will just wake up in the morning and decide to go lie down on the that's what we're saying. Many Nigerians are not even bothered about the plight of others until it affects them. You're referring to people's parents as miscreants blocking the roads. You've not found time to ask why they're on the road. You've not had time to ask what is wrong with them. But in your twisted mind, some sort of way, you felt that it was important for you to just open your mouth and be balablowing and be saying nonsense, calling people miscreants. May the Lord have mercy on your soul, or not. We move on to Isikote Bogbaya. Says APC supporters will say their obedience trying to make APC government look bad. Just wait. Lasisi Mutiu says, I believe they can protest peacefully without blocking the road or airport entrance. Well, that's also an option. Peace is an option. Peace is also not an option. Sometimes. Adekunle says, these people nearly caused me damage this morning. I have to turn back and went through Ikorodu roads to link to GRA. This is bad on Monday morning. Nigeria, my country. You don't blame them, you blame the government that's refused to listen to them. That's how it should be, and that's how it is, you know. It's me, Ade says, what happens to international flights? If you ask me, now who I go ask? So that's it. What happened to international flight? Well, let's move on to Daniel Benedict. He says, in Nigeria, every sector goes on strike. Who did this to us as a country? Why? But why? Why is everybody going on strike? But why? Shehu Tijani says, but aviation minister just bought 10 firefighter trucks for over 12 billion naira. And people are on the street protesting. The Domino says the same government that is owing Emirates Airline. I'm just sad because corruption in Nigeria is a cancer woven into their identity. And to cure cancer before it kills the body, you might have to cut that part of the body. Elizabeth, our last commentator, says, federal government approved billions for free Wi-Fi, but haven't paid aviation workers. Such a misplacement of priorities, if you ask me. Now let's move over to Kogi State, Kogi West. We told you on Monday, that's yesterday, that Senator Dino Melaye, former senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, has won the primaries of the PDP, People's Democratic Party. He will be flying their flag in the Kogi State governorship election. But the person who ousted him and beat him in the election, Smart Adeyemi, is in the news. Why is Adeyemi in the news? Now, in April, on the 7th of April, 2023, this month, Smart Adeyemi was quoted by Yaba Left Online as having said that those upset about 2023 election outcome should wait for 2027, right? That's what he said, that if you know that you are not happy with what happened in the election, just go and wait for 2027. That should be on your screen right now. You should be seeing it there. Smart Adeyemi's comment on Yaba Left Online saying that those upset about 2023 elections should wait for 2027. And that was the first thing he said. But unfortunately, some days later, the cable, after the governorship primaries of the APC in Kogi State, the cable was reporting that Smart Adeyemi has been complaining that results were ready before election, and he was faulting the APC gubernatorial primary, saying that there was no way he can accept the result. You know, the results were ready before election. This was the same person who was saying that if you know he announced that it's right with election in 2023 with the 2027. Now they've shown him pepper. He's shedding tears, hot tears. That's what he was shedding. Now let's take a listen to that video where Smart Adeyemi was shedding. He wasn't really crying. I'm just joking. He was just complaining. But it's the same thing that you said people should faramo you to faramo it. But then let's look at his comment.
There was an election at the national level, which the APC won. In this instance, there was not even voting. That's the difference. There was no voting. Maybe you talk about the national election, there was voting. Yes, they rig. You said people rig. Okay. Allegation of rigging is either here or there. But where there was no election at all, is it the same story? That is a humiliation. That's a disgrace. That is a rape of democracy. When there was no election at all, and people went to their comfort zone and wrote the result. That is worse than a military government.
Well, Senator,
the argument is not rigging. The argument today is that there was no election at all. And you want us to accept that as a result?
Senator,
if there was election, then we have reason to complain. Oh, it was rigged, it was not properly done. Where election never took place, and people waited for 6 hours, old women, and you kept them inside the sun, and you say nothing will happen. Well, if you don't have power, there is power of God. If the system will not work, God will work. Because if there was election and we were defeated, we take it in good faith. But there was no election. Results were written and announced. The chairman of the local government, with marching orders and security men, moved to their comfort zones to write the result and return it back to the state capital to the committee members who collected them and went ahead to announce them. Well, is that democracy?
Well, Senator
Adeyemi, it was not what democracy that people fought.
You can see how angry Mr. Adeyemi is. He was just so angry and shouting. Welcome to the club. What's good for the goose is sauce for the gander. What is good for Cameroon is good for Uganda. You were telling people that they should come back in 2027. Mr. Adeyemi, please come back in 2027. But let's go and see how Nigerians reacted to that. We begin with Spotlight on Peter Obi. Spotlight Abi says, I feel for Smart Adeyemi as he's crying on this Arise TV interview that there was no APC governorship primaries in Kogi, but Yahaya Bello's cousin was declared winner. But like Ayo asked him, Oga, will you take your own advice and wait till 2027? APC has destroyed democracy in Nigeria. The next comment comes from Joshua Miman Samson. Says, DJ, please play me What Goes Around Comes Around by Justin Timberlake. Let's put it there for him, Justin Timberlake. Avatar says, Smart was outsmarted. He once benefited from the process. So why the crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you still crying? I'm just trying to make him see that you can't say certain things to people when the system is also going to get back to you. You know, is what goes around comes around. Phil Collins Lighthouse says, in fact, you specifically said we should wait till 2027. Oh God, wait till then. Come back in 2027. Ovie says it's now he remembers old women waited for 6 hours under hot sun. It's when the evil they visited on others visit them that they realize how they pain. He has not started crying. He will gnash his teeth for a long time. Don't sing. Abi, what is that? Okay, sorry. But when Benson says, why are you complaining? I thought APC was a party of equity, fairness, and justice. I thought APC was a party of equity, fairness, and justice. Okay. Walt X says, all of a sudden you believe God will work. Same you that supported this sham that happened in the presidential elections. He go reach everybody. Last. Now everybody go chop breakfast. No. Greg Noel says, at Smart Adeyemi 88-430, Oga distinguished Cry River. If you're upset, wait till 2027. All you evil men that lost their humanity during the presidential and gubernatorial elections will definitely receive your rewards faster than you expected. Freeman says, bros, this is Nigeria. Kindly enjoy your breakfast and stop crying. No peace for supporters of evil. David Kolade Olmojua says, but exactly my point during the presidential election, you never agreed, sir. It should not be allowed. But like you said, let's take it in good faith and wait till 2027. I implore you too to take it in good faith. Daniel U. Onwoha, last commentator, says, see him crying like a baby. The same man that said those that lost the presidential election should try again in 2027 is now crying like a baby on national TV over his loss at the primaries. At Smart Adeyemi, cry more, cry more, cry more. Well, that's where we end the show this morning. That's Spring Trends for you, the Tuesday edition. Thank you so much for starting your day with us and for spending time with us. I will leave you with that video of the aviation workers now who were busy enjoying themselves on the road, and just to get a feel of how they were enjoying themselves. Even though they were obviously in pains and they were not very happy, the government has to come to their rescue. But just to register that in your minds, I'll leave you with that video. My name is Emmanuel Jadigele, Jadigele on Twitter. You can also follow the station on all our social media handles displaying right there on your screen. Until we come your way tomorrow for the midweek edition of the program, to stay safe and remain on the proper and right side of the law. Bye-bye.